owned a convertible, but I thought it'd be a lot better if I could get more people in there. And have you ever ridden in one? So thanks, Joe. Let's move on to Rod, Boca Raton, Florida, KC7FBN. Good morning, Rob. KC7FBN, you there? Must have got to his destination. Alan, Kendall, New York, N2ZVN. Alan, have you ever ridden in a convertible? Over.
Good morning, Roger. Everyone on the net. Yeah, that's a yes. Convertibles are not my friends. Back in the 80s, I used to have to fix them for wind noises, water leaks, rattles, and everything else. So, yes, I did as part of my job, but I do not like them. Everyone have a great day and a good weekend. I'll be here from you tomorrow. Thanks again. Back to that.
You have a good day, too. Thanks for joining us. And Robert, Allen Park, Michigan, KF8EQF. Good morning, Robert. KF8EQF, you there? Might have been an in and out mobile. Let's move on to Craig, Oakland Park, Florida, K4MMX. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, everybody. The answer is yes, and probably the most notable one was a friend of mine bought a Ford Bronco and sawzalled the roof off. Boy, that was interesting. K4MMX, back to net.
So far, we're getting a lot of cut-off roofs. The convertibles. I rode in my brother's car. Still has a 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 with a big block motor in it. What a ride. Let's move on to Daryl, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. VE3RCI. Good, or RSI. Good morning, Daryl. VE3RSI, you there? Maybe we didn't hear the in and outs on these. Steve, Chester Hills, Michigan, W85TJ. Good morning, Steve.
You're referring to me, W8STJ, Steve, in Rochester Hills. Hey, good morning, Roger. Good morning, everybody here on the Morning Brew. Answer for me is yes. Got to ride two of them that I can think of. Probably another one I'm not thinking of. Hope everybody has a safe and blessed day ahead. This is W8STJ.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Steve. Have a good, safe trip there. Good day. Dwayne, West Columbia, South Carolina, KG4GKY. Good morning, Dwayne.
And everybody on the brew this morning. Yes, I've ridden in a convertible car as well as a convertible, I guess you couldn't say convertible, it's a PT-19 airplane. So it's open cockpit. So both ways, yes. Back to net control.
All right, my friend, we'll accept it. You have a good day there. Elmer, Allen Park, Michigan, KB5NJU. Good morning, Elmer.
good morning to the net. Happy Thursday. A little crazy weather in Metro Detroit last night. I think the question was, have I ever ridden in a convertible? Yes, I have. In fact, I almost bought one. It was an old Ford. I can't remember what model it was, but it was a 60s one that I almost bought when I was in language school in California when I was in the Army. Have a great day, all. Happy Thursday, 7-3. KB5NJU, back to the net.
Thanks for joining us. Starting to wake up a little bit here. Holy text check-ins, Batman. All right, let's go on. This is Roger, KO4QMM in Umatilla, Florida, your net controller for the first part of the East Coast Reflector. Let's go on to Larry, Maricopa, Arizona, KM7CGI. Good morning, Larry.
Yes, I have rode in a actually drove one. My parents had one when I was a teenager, so that was 7CGI, back to the net.
Oh, that would have been nice. Thanks for joining us, Larry. Lou, Lake Worth, Florida, KA4EPS. Good morning, Lou.
Hey, good morning, Roger, fellow Floridian, Umatilla. I don't even know where that is. I need to look that one up. It's 80 degrees here in Lake Worthless Beach, Florida, and yes, I have ridden in a convertible. Got me confused. I thought we were doing sunshades. Anyway, great job this morning, and good talking to you, Roger. Have a good day. KA4EPS.
Yeah, thanks, Lou. I did have the sunshade question up there. Then I realized that there wasn't going to be no net for Friday, no memory lane. So I thought, hey, let's have a little memory lane today, have a little bit of fun. And the convertible thing came up. Thanks for joining us. Paul, Lake Worth, Florida, KG4GOQ. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Roger, and good morning to the brew crew. Yes, I've ridden in quite a few different convertibles, driven a few of them, and even had the advancement of riding quite a few rumble seats in the Model A. So, back to the net. This is KG4GOQ.
That rumble seat thing, that was pretty wild. That must have been a pretty fun ride there. I wouldn't mind doing that. Thanks, have a great day. Joe, Deerfield Beach, Florida, N35QR. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Roger. That should be N3SQR, Sierra, Quebec, Romeo. And, yeah, I have ridden in a convertible. The first one I ever drove was a 1967 American LaFrance tiller truck. It's a ladder truck that takes two people to drive, and my job was to drive the back end, and that's what we did. And it was wide open, and I would get snowed on and rained on and electrical storms, but in the wintertime it was really, really bitter. But the worst were these little kids that would throw snowballs at me. And by just happenstance, I was also Santa Claus, because everybody knows that Santa comes in on a fire truck, you know, for the not. But I got those little buggers back, but that's a story for another day. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you on Monday. M3SQR.
Yeah, Joe, I know better than that. I should have known that that was an S and not a 5. I had my print pretty small because of all these text check-ins, and I'm using a 32-inch monitor, too, so it should be working. Thanks for joining us. Bob, Jupiter, Florida. Getting all these Floridas out of the way here, and it is warm this morning, too, Bob. KA4RAK. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Yes, the answer is yes. My first car ever was a convertible Fiat Spider. It was a fun car. I hope everybody has a good holiday weekend and have a good day. KA4RAK.
I had a friend that had one of those little cars. Man, they are fun. The RPMs on them things, you feel like James Bond riding around. Thanks, Bob. Have a great day. Ed, Lakahachi, Florida, K4POI. Good morning, Ed.
Morning, Roger and the Brew Crew. Yeah, I've had a convertible. I've been searching my head, and I can't remember what car it was, but I remember how hard I had snapping the tops down when you put the top up back in the late 50s. But yeah, I did have one. Did enjoy it. Back to you, Roger, K4POI.
Wow, back in the late 50s, I'm really trying to think. It must have been some kind of roadster or something. Thanks for joining us, Ed. Have a great day. That's enough of the Floridas there. Time to go to New York. Roy, K-A-8-B-Y-U. Roy, and have you ever ridden in a convertible? Over.
Oh, good morning, everybody on the brew. Oh, yeah, had a couple myself, too. So, definitely a yes. Back to you. Everybody have a great weekend.
You're teasing me, Roy. I would have liked to hear at least which one of the cars was. Have a good day, and thanks for joining us. Randall, Brownstown, Michigan, K8UFM. Good morning, Randall.
Good morning, Roger. Good morning, Vicky, and good morning to the rest of the Brew Crew. Racking my brain here. I think I have back during the high school days, but the memory's not quite what it used to be. But yeah, I believe so. With that said, this is KAUFM, back to net control. Everyone have an outstanding day.
You do the same, Randall. Thanks for joining us. Zach, St. Cloud, Florida, KI6KQO. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, and the Brew Crew. 77 degrees here in Florida Central. And yes, got to ride in one for my junior prom. And man, what good times those were. I'll send it back to you, Roger, KI6KQO.
Thanks, Zach. You have a good day, too. Mark, Plymouth, Minnesota, NOCQTKV. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Roger, Vicky, Bill, rest of the Brew Crew, everybody else on the net. Yes, I rode in one. My mother had a hardtop that I think was a Ford in the early 1960s. Very nice car. Everybody have a great Thursday and a great Juneteenth today, tomorrow, and a great weekend. And 0CKV back to net.
You have a good day, too, there, Mark. And let's move on to Wayne, Belmore, New York, KC2NJV. Good morning, Wayne. Have you ever ridden in a convertible?
Good morning, Roger, Bill, Vicky, and the crew, KC2NJV. I've ridden in them, I've driven them, and the most interesting convertible I was a passenger in was down in Havana with all the classic 50 convertible. Have a great day.
You have a good day too, Wayne. Joe, you're next on the list. Claremont, Florida, KM4WZD. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Roger. Good morning, Vicky. Vicky. Good morning to the crew. The answer is yes, I have ridden in a convertible, and as luck would have it, I just inherited one. My father-in-law passed away back in November, and I'm going to have my own convertible as of next week. We're going to pick it up, so looking forward to that. 2008, so not classic, but still, it's got a couple of miles on it. It's a Mazda Miata. Really looking forward to it. Hey, everybody take care. 7-3s. Let's do it again next week. It's KM4WZD. Back to net.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, and glad you told me what the car was. I keep wondering. Josh, Brownsville, Texas, KX9BBY. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Roger. Vicky, Bill. This is KX9BBY. Yes, I have ridden convertibles. I think the first one that I remember was an MG convertible that the dad of a friend of from the neighborhood had, and he used to take us riding on that. So that was pretty cool. Back to you, Roger. This is KX9BBY.
Yes, those were fun cars. I do believe that's a Triumph, like MG Triumph or something like that. Thanks for joining us. Rod, Madison, West Virginia, WD8KOB. Good morning, Rod.
Good morning, Nat. WD8KOB. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday morning. And my answer to the question is yes, I owned an Austin Healey, which was a convertible. Hey, you guys have a great day. Get ready for the weekend. Back to net. WD8KOB.
Austin Healey. Yeah, there you go. Getting a little more James Bondish there. Thanks for joining us, Rod. We only got a couple more text check-ins here, and then we'll jump on to the regular general check-ins, call them in, and then we'll blend them in with the other text check-ins. So we're ripping right through them here. Duck, Lake City, Florida, KK4DUK. Good morning, Duck.
Good morning. This is KK4 UK, Duck out of Lake City, Florida. Yes, I have ridden in a convertible back when we lived in Germany. I was a senior in school, and one of my classmates, he had a Porsche 911 Carrera, I think it was, something like that. The Porsches and Mercedes-Benz were very, very common. Nothing out of the ordinary. That was a great experience. Excellent question. Brings back a lot of memories. This is KK4DUK. Turning it back over to Net Control. 73s and quack, quack.
That's for sure. Thanks for joining us, Duck. And last on this list, KK7DY, Clark, Phoenix, Arizona. Good morning, Clark. Have you ever ridden in a convertible?
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, and the rest of the road crew. Yes, I owned a Volkswagen Thing. Back Net Control, KK7DY.
Awesome, Clark. I loved hearing about all these cars this morning. And my name is Roger. I'm in Central Florida, KO4Q. I'm your net controller for the first part of the East Coast Reflector Morning Brew. And then Bill Giddens will come in and take over the second part. And Vicky's doing a good job on login. And we got Mark on the side, KE2EDS. So now it's time for general check-ins. Do try to space it out a little bit. Come in twice and slow.
AF4, OH, Kilo, Charles, Foxtrot, 4, Foxtrot, Oscar, Bravo, November, Paul, Gainesville. This is Kilo, Charles, 7, Foxtrot, Bravo, Nancy, shorter time, mobile. W8, WHK, W8, WHK. N2BH, BH.
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Romeo Foxtrot. Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Romeo Foxtrot, pedestrian mobile.
Sierra Alpha Lima.
Kilo Charlie 3, Lima Alpha Victor. Kilo Charlie 3, Lima Alpha Victor.
Alpha 3, Yankee Bravo Sierra. Alpha 3, Yankee Bravo Sierra. All right, little break here. Got to swig a little coffee, and I'm sure we missed a few. Let's go from the bottom up here. VA3YBS Bill, Dunnville, Ontario, Canada. KC3LAV Mike. W2SAL Sal. VA3CRF Vern, Mobile. N4RAG Roger. N2BH Bill. W8WHK Bill. KC7FBN, Mobile Rob, and KCKO40HN. Is there something like that? We're not really sure if that was correct. KO40HN.
Kilo Foxtrot 4, Oscar, November Hotel.
Vicky was really close on that one. And let me go down here to the text check-ins and add them in. And then we'll start at the top of the mobiles and do the generals and then the text. This is text check-ins here that we haven't got. N8ZFH Gary, K8BAC Al, KF8GJJ John, AB4KT Kenneth, N3DT Ray, NA2B Charlie, WWON Kenny, KD2YUY Charles, KC5CZX Daryl, KB3EYR Greg, KR4AEG Charles, KJ5MEL Jose, KE2EDS Mark, WA8PGV Dan, N4RSM Richard, KQ4EFY Tim, K3CBE Chuck. Phew, that's why I said holy text check, man. All right, we're going to go to the top of the general there. The mobiles first. VA3CRF, Vern, Waterdown, Canada. Have you ever ridden in a convertible, Vern?
Good morning, Roger, and Bill, and Vicky, everybody on the net. Thanks for picking me up. Out for a walk in VE2 land. I'm in Quebec City this morning, and because we're in Quebec, I'm not going to make it to the meet and greet. Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to it, but I hope everyone has a good time. I have ridden in a convertible. Honestly, it wasn't that fun. There's a lot of turbulence with the top off on the car. But hope everyone has a good day and a nice weekend. VA3 CRF.
Well, thanks for getting in there, Vern. And yes, that the meet and greet is Saturday, and I think them guys are happy it's a holiday tomorrow. They'll have a lot of time to get things going instead of being on the radio, which will slow them down a little bit. So I'll be watching, listening a little bit on YouTube. Thanks for getting in there, Vern. Our other mobile there was K7FBN, Rob, Boca Raton, Florida. Good morning, Rob.
Well, good morning, Roger, and everyone else on the net, all the helpers there.
Vicky, and all the rest. 82 degrees Fahrenheit here. Yes, I have ridden in a convertible, but I was very, very young, teenage type stuff, and I don't recall anything about the type of vehicle. But the first convertible I had was red. It had 4 wheels, and it was the red fire wagon. Anyway, 7-3 everyone, KC 7FPN.
Thanks for joining us. You reminded me of a friend back in the early 80s, had a 68 convertible Firebird with a 6-cylinder in it and real bad shocks. And we used to throw our surfboards in there and go to New Smyrna Beach. And man, what a time. That thing didn't even have enough power to get stuck in the sand. So it worked out good. Excuse me. Paul, Gainesville, Florida, our last mobile, KF4OH. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning to you and the group out here. Hope everybody's having a good morning. This is Paul, KF4OH, Gainesville, Florida. Yes, I've ridden in a convertible and drove a convertible. Today, my brother, he had a Mercury convertible, and it was a really nice car to drive and rode good, and let the top down, let the wind hit you in the face.
Nothing better, is there? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Now let's get on to the regular general check-ins here. W8WHK Bill. Good morning.
Good morning. It's 78 degrees and sunny. Another fine southwest Florida day. Back in 1969 or 1970, when we first got married, my wife and I bought a used Corvair Spider convertible. And that thing was fun to drive in. And of course the roof was quite leaky. So it was just, but who cares, it was fun. And get that top down, and pretty hard to get it back up, but we got it. One day she was driving to work in it, and this little red light turned on the dashboard. It looked like a fan belt, but she didn't know what it meant, so she kept on driving. The serpentine belt, it ran everything on the engine, the generator and the cooling broke. And of course it seized it up on her. And we got it fixed, but that car was never the same after that. Just never the same. It was a shame. That thing's a collector's item for sure now. Alrighty, back to everybody. Have a great weekend. This is W8WHK 7-3s, and back to net control.
Thanks for joining us, Bill, this morning. And that Corvair reminds me of the Godfather. I do believe Dick had one of those. Not sure if it was a convertible or not. Maybe he'll get in here a little bit later and let us know. Thanks, my friend. Bill, Palmyra, New York, N2BH. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, Bill, everybody. Oh, yes. In fact, I had a couple Jeeps with the rag tops, and boy, in the summer I'd have the tops off every chance I had. A lot of fun. Off to my morning breakfast. I don't think we'll get a bike ride in today. Looks like we got more rain coming. N2BH.
Well, thanks for getting in there this morning, Bill, and you have a wonderful day. And too bad the training, you don't get to do your motorcycle ride, but enjoy that breakfast. And he is one of our team members here at ECR, does a great job. Roger, my buddy in Fort Lauderdale, N4RAT. Oh, tell me about that Porsche with the convertible top.
Good morning, Roger, from the other Florida Roger, November 4, Rumi Chaleco. Yes, my first convertible was a Triumph TR6. CJ7 Lorraine. You could take the hard top off, remove the doors, lower the windshield, but
which made it a completely different ride. I had that Porsche 911 Parker that I drove cross country, and a BMW Z3 that I also drove across our beautiful country. Thanks for the ride down memory lane, Roger. Good ears, cousin. November 4, Roger Ham enthusiast. Returned in it.
Oh yeah, Vicky heard you, and yeah, hers was a Jeep that she mentioned. And I knew you had that Porsche in there somewhere. I heard you before talk about that, and I do love those cars. Thanks. I bet that Triumph was fun too. So let's move on to my buddy Sal, W2SAL, smiling here in the Zoom room. Good morning, Sal.
Morning, Roger. Don't put me in the blender, but you can blend me in. I've been in several of these vehicles that were rad tops. Being most of my friends were car dealers, we always had one that we could always cruise the boulevard, if you want to say. With that, I'm going to send it back to Net Control, because I could talk right up until the ECR meet and greet if I needed to. With that, everyone have a great day, and be careful out here in the area. We got high winds coming in. W2SAL, back to Net Control.
Thanks, Sal. Always good to see your smiling face in the Zoom room. And you're listening to KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida, your net host for the East Coast Reflector Morning Brew. And after me, we'll have Bill, KFOMHN. He'll be up on the net control next. Let's move on to Mike in Littitz, PA, KC3LAV. Good morning, Mike.
Yes, sir, Roger, and a fine good morning to you. This is KC3LAV, Mike of Warwick Township, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. It's overcast. We might get some of that rain too today, and our first car was a 61 Rambler American convertible. Yes, thank you very much for those memories. Back to Net. We're clear.
Ramble on in the Rambler. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Let's move on to Bill, Dunnville, Ontario, Canada, VA3YBS. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Roger, Vicky, and everybody on the net this morning. When I was young, my best friend had an MGB, and we used to drive around in that, had a lot of fun in that. And my last three cars have all been convertibles. I had a 75 Corvette with the T-tops. I think that counts. And I had a BMW with a hardtop convertible. And I'm currently driving a Jeep. And Jeeps are like Lego toys. You can take the roof off. You can take the doors off. They're like Lego toys for grown-ups. So, I've had my convertible. Great question. Back to you, Roger. Thanks for doing the net. VA3YBS.
Oh my goodness, I live right on the edge of the Ocala National Forest, and I tell you what, I see a lot of Jeeps, and they do look fun. Thanks for joining us. Let's move on to my buddy from my hometown, Newcastle, PA, Chuck, W3CBE. Good morning, Chuck.
Sure. Nice to hear you. And Vicky and everybody else on the brew there. It would be a yes. I had a CJ5, and I've had some friends that had, in fact, I have a sister right now that has a little Audi. So with that, have a great day and a great weekend. W3CBE.
Thanks, Chuck, for joining us, and you have a wonderful day, too. Tim, Columbia, South Carolina, KQ4EFY. Good morning, Tim. Have you ever ridden in a convertible?
Thank you, Roger. This is KQ4EFY, Tim in Columbia, South Carolina. And yes, I've ridden in a convertible. Back to Net Control.
Thanks, Tim. And you're welcome to tell us what the car is if you like. We always have enough time for that. Richard, Sumter, South Carolina, N4RSM. Good morning, Richard.
Yes, sir. Convertibles and T-tops. Enjoy them both. Back to you.
Ooh, the T-top. Make me think of the Trans Am Bandit. Thanks, have a good day. Dan, Sterling Heights, Michigan, WA8PJV. Good morning, Dan.
Morning, Roger and Vicky and everybody on the brew. Yes, I've ridden in a convertible, and one of the memorable ones was in 1967 down in Pensacola, Florida, and the car was a brand new 1967 Corvette convertible. Back to you, WA8PGB.
Awesome, Dan. Thanks for getting in there with us. Mark, one of our teammates here at ECR, he keeps everything straight in the Zoom room here, logging and such, helping Vicky. KE2 EDS. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Roger. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, Brew Crew. And as far as an answer to the question is yes, I've ridden in many convertibles. The most memorable is a MG Midget, which today I would not be able to fit in too well. Have a great day, KE2 EDS.
Right, and those cars seem so small when you're riding around with F-350s around you. Have a good day, Mark. Thanks for what you do. KJ5 MEL. Good morning, Jose.
Good morning to the brew. Good morning to everybody. I'm anxious for that holiday tomorrow. And too bad for the Nets in the morning. But I had ridden in a convertible. I was 16 years old. Already had my driver's license. And this gentleman that rented an apartment from my dad would leave me his cars on his vacation when he would come to the U.S. He would want me to take care of them, keep them clean and running. And one was a Triumph Roadster, and I enjoyed the heck out of that little thing. And then he had a big Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. That was fun as well. Big old boat to run around in town. But I didn't have much time to run in them because I worked, but I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the moments and the time I was able to use them. Blessings to everybody. Enjoy your weekend. And Father's Day, which is coming up. Enjoy the meet and greet. This is Jose, KJ5, in Austin, Texas.
Thanks for joining us, Jose. A little bit quiet there. Might want to speak up a little bit more or turn the volume up. Charles, Belmont, North Carolina, KR4AEG. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, everybody on the crew. Put me down for a yes. I have ridden in several convertibles. KR4 AEG, back to net control.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Charles. Greg, Coreyville, PA, KB3EYR. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, Bill, everybody on the brew crew this morning. This is KB3EYR, and affirmative to the question. I've owned a few over the years, so definitely spent some time in a convertible. Had lots of fun. Have a great day. Back to net control.
Thanks for joining us, Greg. Let's move on to Daryl, Lubbock, Texas, KC5CZX. Good morning, Daryl. Well, good morning to everybody on the brew. Yes, I have a Porsche, a BMW, and a few open-top military vehicles. So back to net, KC5CZX. Ooh, open-top military vehicle. Can't think other than the Hummer what that might be. Good one there. Thanks for joining us. Charles, Syracuse, New York, KD2YUY. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Mr. Vicky, and everybody else listening in on the brew. Windy Syracuse is a hold on to your toupee kind of day today. Weather's blowing in. And years ago, I worked at a radio station. The radio station had kind of a mascot vehicle. It was a 62, because that was the radio station's frequency. It was a 62 red Corvette, and I used to drive that to a couple of events. We ran a contest where people had to try and find the right key to open up the glove box to win the grand prize. It was a fun little gig. 73, all back to that control, KD2, YUY.
They put so much beautiful style into those cars back then. Man, they were just beautiful to look at. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Kenny, Germantown, Maryland, WWON. Good morning, Kenny.
Well, good morning, Roger and Vicky and everybody else on the crew. Yes, absolutely. I had a PW convertible when I was stationed in the Navy down in Charleston. My next duty station was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It really wasn't practical, so I had to get rid of it. Miss it. Anyway, it's thunderstorming here in Germantown, Maryland. Everybody have a great weekend out there. This is Whiskey 0 November, back to net control.
Thank you, sir, and have a wonderful day. This is KO4QML. Charlie, Sun City, NA2B. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Roger, and everybody on the net. Murdy and I in Tampa Bay. 82 this morning. Heat index forecast of 105. Roger, I think you probably got the same over your way. By the way, when you get some of them afternoon showers, push them back this way if you would. Response to the question, yes, had many rag tops over the years. Most memorable is the CJ5 Jeep we had a Corvette convertible. But the one we had the most was a little Miata convertible. My God, we had a lot of fun with that thing. Since then, getting older, we graduated to sunroof HI. Thanks for what you do. NA2B, back to net.
Appreciate it, Charlie. You have a good day there. My sister used to live down there in Sun City Center. It's a very busy area, and I'm sorry, man. I'm going to have to hog all the rain if I get it. Have a good day. Hey, Beaver, PA, N3DQD. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, the rest of the net. Yes, I've ridden in many convertibles, and the most memorable was an Austin Healey. Back to net. This is N3DQD.
Back when the cars had some style. Love them Austin Healey's. Thanks for joining us. 84KT Kenneth, Villages, Florida. Good morning.
4KT, yes, I've ridden in lots of convertibles. The top military vehicle, the Jeep. And to be honest, I didn't like open vehicles. I've had a couple of Jeeps. I just, in fact, had one recently and never took the tops off of them. I did have taken the doors off of them, but not the tops. Back to that, everybody have...
Well, rip the top off, Kenneth. Might as well get it over with. No, have a good day, my friend. Thanks for joining us. KF8GJJ, John, Middleton, Ohio.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I did own a convertible. I had a 78 CJ5 in high school back in the early 80s and kept it a couple more years after I graduated. Back to Net Control, KF8, GJJ. Everybody have a good day.
Thanks for joining us, John. And I just want to tell everybody that being in line here on the text check-ins, thanks for being so patient, man. Most of you are all showing up. And speaking of another one here, K8BAC, Al, one of our team members here. Good morning, Al.
Good morning, Roger, Vicky, everybody on the Brew Crew. What a great question of the day. Yes, I have ridden in, driven, owned several convertibles, including one, Roger, I think you'd like, 1965 Galaxy convertible, and I turned it into a 60s machine, dropped the back end, even put spark plugs in the tailpipe so I can flame them out. My dad told me never tell anybody who taught me how to do that. So, back to you, Raj, KBAC.
Oh, yeah, and make sure there's a lot of fuel going through that carburetor so it makes it to the tips of those spark plugs. And it sounds like that is cool. And it's Galaxies were like my brother's Fairlane, big. My granddad had a Galaxy. Pretty cool. Thanks, Al. Maybe we'll catch you on the 20-meter net if you're around. Gary, Woodhaven, Michigan, N8ZFH. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Roger, and everybody on the net. And, wow, that brought up a memory. My friend had a 65 Ford Galaxy convertible back in high school. But the first one that I rode in was a 59 Skyliner as a kid. But I've had many convertibles throughout the years. One of my favorites was a 68 427 Corvette. I've had many Mustang GTs. Currently have a Mustang GT convertible that only goes out in the sun or maybe a few clouds, but never in the rain, and definitely stored over the winter. Please check me out. N8ZFH, back to net.
Right on. I could almost hear Three Dog Night playing in that Galaxy. Good times. Thanks for joining us, Gary. Don, Hollywood, Florida, W4PPX. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Net Control, everybody on Brew Crew this morning. Yes, I have. My first car was a 1949 Ford Ragtime convertible. Had a flathead V8 and 3 on a tree. Loved that car. W4PPX, back to Net Control.
Oh, wow, you don't hear much about the old flatheads anymore. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. Have a good day. My buddy Mike, Sebring, Florida, doing some fishing as usual. K82UDB. Good morning, Mike. Go ahead and let go of that fish and talk to us, Mike.
There we go. Good morning, Brew Crew. It's a beautiful day out here. Catching fish left and right. And to answer your question, yes, I've not only ridden one, but I've driven them. So thanks for picking me up this morning, and we'll talk to you later on down the line here. This is KB2 UDB, upstate New York. Back to net. Thanks for doing the net.
Yeah, get back to feeding them fish, Mike. Thanks for joining us. Let's move on to Bill Hobbs, New Mexico. Did I skip him? He's mobile. KI5PMI. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Roger. Hope everybody having a good day today. No, don't worry about skipping me. I'm just pedestrian mobile, nothing. I'm just walking the dog, no biggie. Yes, I've ridden in a convertible. Hope everybody has a great day. KI5PMI, back to net.
We got you, Bill. Thanks. I was wondering. I was like, mobile. Did I make him wait all this time? Get in trouble. Jeff, Rochester Hills, Michigan, KE8SMN. Good morning, Jeff. Have you ever ridden in a convertible or owned one?
Good morning, Brew Crew. KE8SMN. Answer is yes. I was actually in one yesterday. I owned many, currently own two. 65 Plymouth, 87 Corvette. Lots of fun. KE8SMN. Back to net.
Can't go wrong with a vet, Jeff. Thanks for joining us this morning. Here he is, the Corvair guy. I was wondering if he had a convertible or not. Not Dick from Eden, New York, WB2JPQ. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Roger. No, the Corvair was not a convertible. They had don't remember the model. And a Ford like that in the early 60s, which was a convertible. But no Corvair. That's it for me. See y'all later. It's raining here in Western New York. This is W2JPQ.
Thanks, Dick, for joining us. And I bet that convertible you had really was low on the back end because of all them amplifiers in the trunk. Have a good day, Dick. Thanks for joining us. Bottom of the list, and Rick, Villages, Florida, and 5GI. Good morning, Rick.
Well, good morning, everybody on the Brew Crew. It's a beautiful Thursday here in the Villages. And yes, we have ridden in a convertible. My most memorable moment was when I was a kid. My uncle had a old ex-military Jeep with no top, no doors, and we go to... This is N5GI, back to net.
Thanks for joining us, Rick. And that's it for that list. Boy, we're only at 60. Sheesh, in an hour? I'm slow. They usually got 70 or 80 by now. But that's all right. All right, this is KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida, your net controller for the East Coast Reflector Morning Brew. And we're going to go ahead and take some more general check-ins. Anybody, anywhere, try to come twice and slow.
KR4, LK. KO4, KR4, LK. In and out, in and out.
Mobile.
Number 3, Mike Delta Charlie. That's a Mike Delta Charlie, pedestrian mobile.
Kilo, Foxtrot, 0. Victor Mike Charlie. Whiskey, Delta 8, Papa, India Charlie. Whiskey, Delta 8, Papa, India Charlie.
Kilo Echo 2, Delta Mike Yankee. Kilo Echo 2, Delta Mike Yankee.
Kilo Delta 6, Whiskey Foxtrot Romeo. Kilo Delta 6, Whiskey Foxtrot Romeo, in and out. Great Hotel Lima November at 8 HLN. Kilo Juliet 5, Delta X-Ray Bravo, in and out. Kilo Juliet 5, Delta X-Ray Bravo, in and out. Good morning.
Kilo Echo 8, November United Lima, in and out. Kilo Echo 8, November United Lima, in and out.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Delta X-Ray, WB4DX. I'll be short of time, in and out.
Echo Alpha 3, Kilo Tango Juliet, VA3, KTJ, in and out.
All right, let me get a hold of it right here. And that's it for me. I'm going to let Bill take over, KF0MHN. I appreciate everybody that gave me the chance to have a little bit of fun this morning, Bill and Dick and the Brew Crew. And that's it. I'm going to hand it over to Bill. This is KO4QMM 73.
Good morning, everybody. This is KF0MHN Bill out of East Bethel, Minnesota. Today I'm in Ohio. I'm in the Northeast Ohio area visiting friends and family, but I didn't want to miss out on the morning brew. Don't forget about Roger. He's got his 20-meter net coming up on 14.317 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. All right, let's get back to the list. We've got at the start of the list, let's acknowledge our in and out KR4LKN, Chris out of Sumter, South Carolina. Let's move on to our mobile, KO4EAS, Leonard out of Margate, Florida. Good morning, Leonard.
Good morning. Morning, everyone in the brew crew. I was riding in a convertible. In my younger years, I had some friends that had convertibles, but lately, not really. Anyway, have a great day today and a great weekend. This is KO4EAS, back to net.
All right, Leonard, have a great day. We got you down as a yes. Let's move on to N3MDC, Michael out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Have you ever ridden in a convertible?
Good morning, Bill and everybody. Yes, Bill, I have. My Aunt Debbie's got one, so does my sister down in Orlando, Florida. So, yes, I have. N3MDC, back to you, Bill.
All right, Michael. Thanks for checking in. I've ridden in a convertible. My brother had one, and we used to ride around in it a little bit back in the day, but I've been in one a long time. All right, have a great day. Next, move on to KF0VMC Tim, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Good morning, everybody on the Brew Crew. Bill, Vicky, and yeah, I've ridden in a few vehicles that had convertibles, and the most one I could think about is a 1960 Chevrolet that my brother had as a convertible, and yeah, so ridden in some convertibles. So I'll take it back over to the Brew Crew, and this is KF0VMC. Everybody have a day.
All right, Tim, you have a great day as well, and 73. Let's move on to WD8PIC, Bob out of Sylvania, Ohio. Good morning, Bob. WD8PIC, you still with us?
Yes. I had to go to a different repeater. Yeah, fine. Yeah, I've ridden in several Mustangs and a couple of Jeeps. I'm totally blind, of course, so I haven't driven, but I'll tell you the riding experience is very fun. Back to net control, WD8PIC.
Yes, have a great day. Let's move on to KE2DMY, Grant out of Utica, New York. Good morning, Grant.
Good morning, Net Control. Everybody's having a great day. I have ridden in convertibles. My father had a Cadillac Eldorado and a Mercedes 450 SL, so we used to ride in those all the time.
Never ridden one in a long time. So, everybody have a great day today. K2GMY.
All right, those sound like some fun vehicles to ride in. Have a great day, Grant. Let's move on to, let's see, we had an in and out, KD6WFR, Bradley out of Elizabeth, Colorado. Next move on to NHL, or my fault here, N8HL, and Mike out of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Crew. Answer to the question this morning is yes. Driven in quite a few in my day, and I own a classic sports car with T-tops, so that kind of counts also. So everyone have a great day. HLN.
Next we had two in and outs, KJ5DXB, Frank out of Sugar Land, Texas. We had KE8NUL, Jim out of Madison Heights, Michigan. And just a reminder, this is Bill, KF0MHN, out of East Bethel, Minnesota. And the question of the day is, have you ever ridden in a convertible? Let's move on to WBDX, John out of the Villages in Florida. Good morning, John. John, WB4DX, you still... All right, we'll move on for John. We'll put him down as in and out. Maybe he'll check in a little bit later. Let's move on to our, let's see, we had another in and out, VA3KTJ, in and out, Jinsoik from LaSalle, Ontario, Canada. Let's move on to W2EM, Chuck out of Lancaster, New York. Good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Bill, Rick, Vicky, and the rest of the brew crew here. Yes, I've ridden convertibles over the years. One of the neatest ones I was in was the old Sunliner that had the hard top, that full top would lift off and get stowed away in the trunk. That was, I think, from the 1950s or the early 60s. That was a pretty neat machine. Anyway, back to net, W2EM. All right, Chuck, thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's go to our text check-in line. How about KD3AJN, Anna out of Beaver, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Anna.
Morning to everyone today. Yes, I have ridden in a convertible. Everyone have a great day. KD3AJN.
All right, Anna, good to hear you out there, and have a great day. Let's move on to W2RBC, Randy out of West Seneca, New York, via text line.
Good morning, Bill, Vicky, and everyone on the Morning Brew. I never had a convertible of my own. I had a friend who had a Pontiac convertible, and we used to go out in his. That was way back in the 70s, so back to Net Control, 73 to all, W2RBC.
Forward to seeing you in the Zoom room later on. Have a great day. Let's move on to NW4Q, Jim out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. Yes, many times. Thank you kindly.
All right, Jim, thank you for checking in at 73 and have a great day. All right, we're at the bottom of the list. Time for more check-ins, general check-ins. Please say your call sign twice and slowly.
Whiskey 5, Delta Bravo, Sierra.
W2.
Whiskey 5, Delta Bravo, Sierra.
Out. N1WH Golf, N1WH Uniform, Foxtrot Romeo, Mobile, KG5, UFR. 9 Tango Bravo Delta,
Kilo Charlie 2, Kilo Hotel Tango.
W2PUT, Whiskey number 2, Papa Uniform Tango. I guess you missed me last go around. Whiskey Bravo 5 India Tango Tango, WB5ITT. Echo 3 Tango Golf November. Victor Echo 3 Tango Golf November. Jim, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. KF8, DIC. KF8, Detroit, Rock City. W8BPD. Whiskey 8, Bravo, Papa, Delta. W4RAR, Whiskey 4 Romeo, Alpha Romeo, Winchester, Kentucky. Great, that's like a good list. We can start from there. Let's acknowledge our mobile station, Brian, out of Warren, Michigan, W8BPD. Good morning, Brian. Morning, Bill, Vicky, the rest of the brew crew. Yeah, I rode around in a 72 Cutlass convertible when it was new. long time ago. Other than that, occasionally, but never owned one myself. W8BPD, back to net control. All right, Brian. Thanks for checking in. Have a great day. All right, let's go to the top of our list. Let's start with David from Houston, Texas, W5DBS. Good morning, David.
Great big Texas howdy to you. Never had a convertible. Always wanted one, but I had a Firebird with the T-tops that you took out. I don't know if you remember those back a long time ago. It's almost like a convertible. Appreciate what you do. David in Houston, Texas, back to the net.
Back in the day, a little bit before my time, but I remember seeing them. Hey, let's squeeze in Chris here real quick. WB5ITT, since he said he checked it earlier. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, sir, and to the rest of the Morning Brew. And yeah, back in school, a friend of mine had a Gran Torino convertible. We used to pile in it, about 10 of us, and go drive through Jack in the Box, all ordering at the same time. Drove the person at the window crazy. I had before I got into high school, my dad had taken a VW Beetle and turned it into a dune buggy, and of course had removable hardtop, I guess you call that a convertible. Learned to drive a stick that way at age 12. Last time I was in a convertible was, back in 1999, girlfriend and I went to Florida, and week of vacation, tried to catch one of the shuttle flights. I think it was Endeavor, which of course they launched after we got back to Texas. And the rental folks gave us a convertible, and we had fun driving that all across Florida. Hope everybody's having a good morning. WB5ITT, back to that. All right, Chris, have a great day. Good hearing from you, 73. All right, just an acknowledgement, Vicky back in the log, KEA-BKY back there working hard as always. This is KS0MHN. Bill, question of the day, have you ever ridden in a convertible? Let's move on to Chris, Ada, Michigan, N1WHT. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, and good morning to everybody. I remember in my uncle's Mustang, it was a 5.0, and that was a convertible, and then a good friend of mine has an Alfa Romeo Spider. This is the drop top as well. Have a great morning, everybody, and back to net control.
All right, have a great day, Chris. Good hearing from you. And we got you down on the log as a yes. Next, we'll move on to 5 UFR, Jacob, Farmers Branch, Texas. Good morning.
Well, good morning. And this is KG5UFR, and I have. It's been a long time, but I definitely have, and they're a lot of fun. They really are. My uncle had one up until, I don't know, probably the mid-90s, or, yeah, about mid-90s, I guess. And so, I think it's been the last one I've been in. But, cool question, and back to net, KG5UFR.
Well, Eastern Pennsylvania, K9, TBD. Good morning, Joel.
Good morning, all. Yes, very interesting question for the day. My college roommate had a 65 Mustang that was a convertible. I rode in it once and never put the top down, but my brother, like the other fellow said, took a Beetle, turned it into a dune buggy, and I don't think he ever had a top on it. Yes, indeed. Back to that K9.
All right, have a great day, and thank you for checking in. All right, let's move on to Henry, East Islip, New York, KC28KHT. Good morning, Henry.
KC2KHT, and my good friend had a little MG and took me for in a convertible. Back to net, KC2KHT.
All right, Henry, thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's move on to W2PUT, Dan, out of Milan, Michigan. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, my parents had a Chrysler convertible in the late 80s, early 90s. That was a fun car to drive around. But so does a Jeep Wrangler count when you take the soft top off and you're riding around? We jokingly referred to that as going topless in the Jeep. That's always fun during the summer. Back to you, W2PUT.
Vicky says yes. So everybody, we're going to count that as a yes, so we're going to give you credit for being a convertible today. Have a great day. And we'll talk to you somewhere down the line. All right, let's move on. BE3, TGN, Tim, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Good morning, Tim. You're still with us, BE3, TGN, from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. All right, we'll put Tim as an in and out, and hopefully he checks back in. Let's move on to KFA-DRC, Detroit Rock City, Jack from Rochester, Michigan. Good morning. Jack, KFA-DRC, you still with us? All right, let's move on to N3LLY from a text check-in. Glenn Birdie, Maryland. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning, everybody. I definitely have ridden in a convertible way back in a lot of years ago. My uncle had one. I was a young
young kid at that time, and he just had to drive us around, of course, in the middle of wintertime with the top down. Anyway, everybody, 7-3 to all. Until next time, and 3 LLY. Back to you, Net.
All right, Glenn, have a great day, and thank you for checking in. Let's move on to N2 MLB, John, Springs, New York. Good morning, John.
I was in and out, but I'll just say no. N2 MLB.
All right, John, we got you down as an in and out. All right, let's move on to W4RAR, Bobby, Winchester, Kentucky. Good morning, Bobby.
Yeah, good morning. I rode to the 1981 Dayton Ham Convention in a 1961 Chevrolet convertible with a bunch of old guys that are silent kids now, but that's something I'll always remember. That was my first Dayton Ham Fest. W4RA. Everybody have a good day.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a great day. Let's see, let's go back and see if Tim and Jack are back online. Let's see, BE3TGN. Tim, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. You with us? Not you, Jack. KF8DRC. You still with us? We'll give them a few minutes. We got about 38 minutes to go now, so maybe they'll check in a little bit later. All right, we've got a few tech check-ins we can get to, and then we'll take some more general check-ins. Let's move on to WA8CLG, Doug, Homosassa, Florida. Good morning, Doug.
This is WA8CLG. Good morning, everybody. And yes, I did have a 1968 Mustang convertible way back in the days. That was a sweet little machine. Everybody have a good weekend. WA8CLG. Back to you, Bill.
All right, Doug. Thank you, and have a great day. Hey, Bob, W3IQ. Good morning, Bob. How are you in Leesburg, Florida?
Hi, Bill. We're doing good, and it's good to hear you on the net. And hi, Vicki. Yeah, the car I just traded in was my Corvette convertible. So that's a convertible country here in Florida. W3ICQ, back to net.
All right, Bob, good to hear from you, and have a great day. One more text check-in, and we'll move on. WQ9B, Ken out of Brownsville, Texas. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning to you and all the brew crew, where we have 85 degrees starting the day off. We're going to have a heat advisory of a heat index of 122 today. That's right, I said 122. Hot one. Right now it feels like 93 out there with 84 degrees. Anyway, get to the question here. Yes, I owned a convertible. I had a Fiat X19, which had a removable roof, which made it into a convertible. And there's nothing like driving through a rainstorm with the roof off. WQ9B, back to net.
All right, Ken, have a great day. Just a reminder, we will not be having the morning brew or the second cup tomorrow. It is a holiday. This is Bill, KF0MHN. And the question of the day is, have you ever ridden in a convertible? Here on the log with KE8BKY Vicky back in the Zoom room. And let's open up for more check-ins, general check-ins. Remember to say your call sign twice and slowly. KJ5AXE, Kilo Juliet 5, Alpha X-Ray Charlie, Mobile.
E4ORM, Whiskey Delta 4, Oscar Romeo Mike. Kilo Quebec 4, Oscar Romeo Kilo, ORK Mobile.
KFA Detroit, Rock City.
United NW for you. Delta Romeo. Kevin in hometown, Illinois. Kilo Delta 2, Whiskey Zulu Juliet, KD2 WZJ, and up.
KFA, Detroit, Rock City.
Kilo 2, Charlie Mike Tango, K2 CMT.
Kilo Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo 8, Sierra Papa Yankee.
Whiskey 1, Sierra Charlie Whiskey Mobile. Whiskey 1, Sierra Charlie Whiskey Mobile. Bravo 4, Kilo, AB4 KK Mobile.
Kilo Charlie 2, Papa Echo Tango, KT2 PET.
All right, that's the end of our list there, and we'll go to our mobile stations first. We'll start. How about, let's go to our mobile stations and we'll try to get to Jack, Detroit, Rock City. How about KJ5AXC Mobile Luis out of Houston, Texas. Good morning, Luis.
Good morning, Brew Crew. I had a Toyota MR2 with T-top that came off it. That covers not exactly a convertible, but it did give us a lot of joy with it off. Kilo Juliet 5, X-Ray Charlie, back to net. Thanks.
All right, Luis, we got you as a yes on the log. Have a great day. Let's move on to our next mobile, KQ4 ORK, Barry out of Ponca, Florida. Good morning, Barry.
Morning, and thanks for picking me up. Hello to everybody on the Brew Crew. I have never owned one. I don't really care for convertibles. The sun always bounces off my glasses into my eyes, and I don't like to wear hats. And because I don't like to wear hats, I burn that built-in solar panel on my head. The XYL owns the Bronco. She likes to drop the top, but I don't. Back to net control. Everybody have a great day. 73 KQ4 ORK in the mobile.
Have a great day. And my wife doesn't want a convertible because it'll mess up her hair a little bit, so we've never had one. All right, let's see if Jack's available. KF8 DRTU from Rochester, Michigan. Good morning, Jack.
Well, good morning, Bill. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, all. Yes, I had a 1968 Chevy Impala. It was convertible. All black. It was 4-cylinder at that time. I paid $8,000 for that car, cash. And that's all I have for you, Bill. Thank you for running the net, and thank you for picking me up. KF8, Detroit, Rock City.
All right, Jack. Have a great day. Good to hear from you. All right, let's move on to George, WD4 ORM out of Orlando, Florida. Good morning, George.
Other than that, every day in high school, my best friend would pick me up. That would be Pat, WD4LXN, in his 64 Ford Galaxy convertible, and we'd ride it to school. That was in the 70s, and he still has the car. Later in life, I went on to buy a 1989 Jaguar XJS convertible and drove that
We got you as a yes in the long. Or, pardon me, I think we got you as a yes or a no in the long. I haven't seen it yet in the long. My fault. Let's move on to KD9, ZDR, Kevin in hometown, Illinois.
Check him in. His answer is yes. Had a 2000 Chrysler Prowler, used in a lot of parades. Was very proud of that thing. Thanks. Good question. Back to net control. This is KD9 ZDR. Good morning, everyone. All right, thank you for getting back to us, Kevin, and have a great day. Thanks for checking in. Let's move on to KD2WZJ. Pardon me, that was Ron. He's an in and out. Let's move on to K2CMT. Mike to Barry, Florida. Good morning. He's one of our net controllers.
Good morning, everyone. Bill, I'm in Columbus, Ohio today, and I don't have a convertible, and I never did care for them. Like your wife, they messed up my hair. Everyone have a great day, and 73.
All right, Mike, have fun at the meet and greet. Or may not be there. I may be able to get a chance to get there, but it'd be good to see you. Anyway, 73. All right, let's move on to KC3FGD, Ray in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Ray.
Hey, good morning, everyone on the net. Yeah, I've had two convertibles, one a Z3M Roadster BMW, and currently have a 1965 Corvette convertible Roadster, so still enjoying that. Everyone have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Back to net control.
All right, my friend, thank you for checking in. You have a great day. Via text line, KR4CKC, Bill out of the Villages. How you doing, Bill? Bill, we didn't quite get you there. KR4CKC, can you try again?
Good morning, everybody on the brew. Yeah, I had a Sky Saturn for a while, so I definitely had a convertible, loved it. It was fun to drive. KR4CKC. You all have a great day.
Let's move on to KC2JPQ, Frank on the Lancaster, New York, via the text line. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill and Vicky and everybody on the brew. Yes, I have rode in convertibles. My brother had a 64 Chevy 2 convertible, all white, red interior, nice car. And friends of the family, he had a GTO, 65 GTO, turquoise blue with all white interior, real nice car. And other, along the years, other ones, but them two stick out the most. Anyhow, everybody have a great day. I'll say 7-3, send it back to the net, KC2JPQ.
Frank, 73 to you as well. Have a great day. Let's move on to K8SPY, Scott, Rochester, New York. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, all. At the current time, I have a 69 Firebird convertible that we enjoy driving every once in a while. Today is not the day because in Rochester it's sitting in the garage. K8SPY mobile clear.
You have a great day. Just a reminder, this is KF0MHN, and the question of the day is, have you ever ridden in a convertible? Next, let's move on to W1SCW. Sean out of Cypress, Texas. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I've ridden in a convertible. Since Jeep's count, my dad had a Jeep Golden Eagle back in the early 80s, and he would take the top off, and it never failed. There could be not a cloud in the sky, and as took the top off, he'd go for a ride, and before you know it, the ceiling would fall out, and you'd get rained on with buckets, it seemed. But, yes, to answer the question in convertibles, thanks for running the net, thanks for everything y'all do, and turn it back over to Net Control. This is W1SCW, mobile in Cypress.
All right, Sean. Thanks for checking in, and have a great day. Let's move on to AB4KK. Chris, Folkston, Georgia. Good morning, Chris.
And good morning, Bill, and everybody on the brew. And, oh, man, we've had several. My mom, a Lincoln Continental convertible, just like President Kennedy got shot in. And we rode her every day to school for a while when I was younger. And then I rode a bike. But anyway, then my dad had a convertible roadster that he built from scratch. It was cool. It had a bed engine in it, and anyway, cool car made out of fiberglass. He made the molds and stuff, and actually he was also a tool and die maker. And then I had a MG that I bought for $400. A guy needed money. I had a brand new engine, brand new paint. It was nice. I drove it 1 mile heading home, and a guy ran a stop sign, a drunk, real bad, and he hit the pan and drove over the back end of the car. The drove over it my head by about a foot. So luckily he missed me, and it was total needless to say. So I never did go very far in my MGB. Acting at AB4KK.
Beautiful vehicles that you got to ride back in the past. And have a great day. This is KF0MHN Bill out of East Bethel, Minnesota. We move on. Let's go to KC2PET Ross out of Alden, New York. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill, and everybody in the brew crew. You can put me down for a no, never or ridden one. 73 is everybody. Back to that. KC2PET.
All right, Ross. Have a great day. Good hearing from you. And we'll talk to you down the line. All right, let's move on to, let's see who we got next. We had that mobile. Let's move on to N1CBM. Carlos out of Hollywood, Florida. Good morning, Carlos.
Good morning, Bill. And Vicky, everybody else always present here in the ECR's Morning Brew. It's 84 down here in the Florida area with a few clouds, beautiful day. It's poised to go to 100 with a 105-degree feel because of the humidity later this afternoon. Well, yes, for me, I have ridden in convertible cars. I don't own one, but my dad had one late 60s model Mustang. Can't recall exactly the year, but I remember riding with him on Saturdays, going out there to get some bread and groceries. Back to you, Bill. Thanks for taking my check-in, N1CBM.
All right, Carlos, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Next, move on to Joe, K2AP. How you doing, Joe? East Islip, New York. Have you ever driven in a convertible?
Good morning, Bill, and Vicky and everybody in the net.
Yes, I owned a 1962 Rambler convertible. I was in high school. And also, one memorable I used to work in Florida when I lived in New York, and I rented a convertible and drove from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale on business. But in the process, we got so sunburned, it was unbelievable. So I remember that. K2AP, back to net. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, Joe. Thanks for checking in and have a great day. I think KFA-DRC Jack wants to check back in again. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, all. Yes, I had 1968 Chevy Impala. That's all I have for you, Bill. Have a good day. KFA, Detroit, Rock City.
All right, Jack. Have a great day. All right, let's move on to KE9DFF Evan out of Milton, Wisconsin. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning, everybody. KE9DFF. I do not own one. However, when I got married 20 plus years ago, her boss at the time owned two Porsches. One of them happened to be a convertible, so that's how we left the ceremony and went to the reception. Coming to you from Milton, Wisconsin via Echolink on the floor scrubber, KE9DFF.
All right. Thanks for checking in and have a great day. All right, we're down to the bottom of the list. We just got a bunch of text check-ins, but let's take some more general check-ins. Please remember to say your call sign twice and slowly.
Try to copy King Charles 8, Fox Plain Victor, KC8 FQV Mark in Ohio, and let me know what net this is.
AA4XM.
Victor 1 Sierra Victor Tango Tango 1 Sierra 4 VTT via Echolink, Kissimmee, Florida.
Kilo India 5 Golf Zulu Oscar KI5 GZO Lake Charles, Louisiana Mobile.
Kilo 9R Tango Juliet Sierra K9 TJS in and out.
This is November 8 Mike Juliet November and 8MJN in the mobile. Did a text check-in.
Kilo 8 Alpha Tango Whiskey, Alpha Tango Whiskey.
Kilo Delta 6 Delta India Quebec KD6DIQ in and out.
Right, so we're at the end of our list there, and we had some mobile check-ins. Let's get to those mobile check-ins first. We had Leo. I'm sorry, I'm way above where I should be at this present time. Let me get back to the right position here on my log. I'm using a laptop today. Well, let's do our check-ins first. Let's do it a little bit different. N5 RTC checked in. Terry out of Austin, Texas. KD6DIQ Todd checked in. We had K8ATW Jason check in. N8MJN Marson check in. K9TJS Thomas check in. KI5GZO Ryan Mobile check in. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning to you and to the Brew crew. Hope everybody's doing well. To answer your question, no, I have never owned a convertible, although My dad did have something close to it. He had a Trans Am from the 80s, and it had a removable top on it. So I don't know if you call that a convertible, but it'd be pretty close to it. Anyway, hope everybody has a great weekend. KI5 GZO.
Well, we're going to call it a convertible today for the purposes of our little thing going on today. So, have you ever ridden in a convertible? Well, we're going to give you credit for that today. So have a great day, 73. Let's move on to KK4VTT, Mobile Bruce out of Kissimmee, Florida. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning to one, good morning to all. First and foremost, have a happy Father's Day, all the fathers out there, and the stepfathers. Convertible? No, never had a convertible. I don't know. I kind of don't trust a car without a roof on top of it. Hey, you guys out there have a great day, a weekend, and enjoy the day. Happy Father's Day again to all the fathers, and thank you guys behind the scenes that do everything. Thank you so much. Kilo 4, Victor Tango Tango, Kissimmee, Florida. Another beautiful day.
All right, Bruce, thank you for the happy Father's Day wishes. I'm sure that's very much appreciated out here. We had W1SS Michael from Deerfield Beach, Florida check in. Then we had AA4XM Micah from Florence, Alabama via the mobile check in. What do you say, Michael? Micah?
Yes, I actually did get to ride in a convertible with one of my crazy aunts. She was a wild child, and my mom probably was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, we got rode in a convertible. I don't know what car it was. I was like 7 or 8 years old. I know it was cherry red though, and I know that it was a convertible because I was extremely intrigued by the mechanics, watching it unfold and fold back up. AA4XM, back to net. All right, Micah, you have a great day, and thank you for checking in. We had KC8FQV Mark check in from Aurora, Ohio. Not far from you, Mark. I had K4ITA Leo from Fort Lauderdale, Florida via mobile. What say you, Leo?
Okay, QV, you were calling me. Just found out about your net. I said, oh, I'm seeing what Netaholic's picking up now. So I dialed up you and I said, I want to check in and see what you guys are all about. So, KCFQV, Mark in Ohio.
Coming back. Hello? Okay.
Let's see, I called on, let's see, Mark in Aurora, Ohio. We'll get back to you in a little bit. We are on the EastCoastReflector.com. I called on Leo. Let's see, K4ITA Leo, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, via mobile.
Good morning. Good morning, babe. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning from the beautiful Fort Lauderdale, everybody. It is already 86 degrees. And, well, yes, I draw convertible. My dad owned a few of them. Actually, I don't own any, but yeah, I draw them. Everybody, a great day. K4ITA.
All right, Leo, have a great day. Via text line, we had KD3ATQ. That was Jim in Eastern. We had KM4CTB, Donnie in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. We had N2ZWR, Dan in Radford, Virginia. And at the top of the list, via text line, N7FGP, Scott, Jamestown, New York. Scott, have you ever ridden in a convertible? Well, good morning, Bill and everybody out there today. Yeah, this is Scott in Jamestown, and I have a Jeep, so I ride with top down all the time. Sometimes I'll even take it off the Jeep. Back to you. All right, Scott, we got these on as a yes. Have a great day. Let's move on to N2ZWR. Dan. Good morning, Dan, in Radford, Virginia. How are you?
Hey, Bill, good morning. Everybody else on the brew this morning. Yes, many times I've ridden in a convertible. My favorite was my brother had a friend who had, I think, either a 65 or a 66 GTO convertible. Love that car. Wish everybody a happy Father's Day this weekend, and I hope everything goes well at the meet and greet. I know a lot of work went into it. I hope you guys have great weather. Back to you, Bill. N2ZWR.
All right, Dan, thank you, and happy Father's Day back to you as well. Hope to talk to you soon. Let's move on to KM4CTB, Donnie in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Good morning, Donnie.
Good morning, Bill, Vicki, and everybody on the net. KM4CTB, Donnie in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Out of all the vehicles we've had, the 50 years of marriage, the wife had a 2005 silver Corvette convertible. I got to drive it whenever it needed gas or service. That's the only convertible we've had out of the whole fleet of vehicles we've owned. Thanks for doing the net, and have a great holiday weekend. KM4CTB, back to that.
Hey, Bill, the question of the day is, have you ever ridden in a convertible? Let's move on to Jim, KD3ATQ. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Bill, Vicki, and the rest of the brew crew. Yes, I've ridden many, never owned one, but ridden in many a convertible. Back to you, Bill, KD3ATQ.
All right, we got you down on the list as a yes, and have a great day. Let's move on to W1SS Michael, Deerfield Beach, Florida. Good morning, Michael.
This is W1SS. Good morning to the net. Yeah, I drove a lot of convertibles. I used to be a Fiat car salesman back in the day, and I drove the Spider convertible, the XLT, I think it was. But I had a lot of fun with convertibles. Put me down as a yes. This is Whiskey 1 Sierra Sierra. Back to the net.
All right, Michael, have a great day. Good talking to you. And we put you down as a yes in the list on the log. All right, let's move on to KAATW. Good morning, Jason from Roseville, Michigan.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I've been in a convertible. My uncle had a 63 Ford Mustang as a kid, and right now I have a Ford Bronco. Every day I'm in one. KATW, back to net.
All right, Jason, thanks for checking in. Have a great day. N5 RTC Terry, Austin, Texas, my friend. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Bill. Folks in the Zoom room. Yes, I have ridden in a convertible, the most notable of which, this is the highlight of my childhood, a Nash Rambler convertible, N5 RTC.
All right, we got you down the log. Yes, great talking to you, Terry. Have a great day. Let's move on to N8MJN, Marson in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Good morning, Marson.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Vicki. Everybody on the Morning Brew. This is N8MJN in the mobile. Well, I have a bit of a how to spot a snowbird story for you. A business trip a few years ago. I was down in California in the middle of February, and rental car, you pick a mile, had a convertible, so I picked it. It was 60 degrees outside. It was top down, driving down in Southern California like a weirdo. But it was -7 in Detroit, so it was probably a 70-degree swing for me. That said, I'll send it back to net control. Everybody have a great day. 73 and 8MJN Mobile.
That's the thing, you know, it doesn't matter how weird you look when the weather's 70 degrees and it's 7 in Detroit, so you probably felt pretty good that day. Let's move on to Rex, KJ4LXJ. Good morning, Rex.
Morning to you and the rest of the brew crew. Yes, quite a few times, especially back in my teenage years. But my favorite one lately was my Jeep, which I just got rid of and plan on replacing. KJ4, LXJ, back to you guys.
All right, Rex, thanks for checking in and have a great day. Via text line, KY4NB, Scott, Memphis, Tennessee. Good morning, Scott.
Well, good morning, Bill, and everybody on the ECR. Thanks for calling me in for the check-in. And the birds are chirping, the sun's out, and it's nice in Elvis barbecue land. Well, I don't know if Elvis had a convertible. He probably had lots of them. But anyway, yes, I have ridden in one in Southern California. I rented one for a blind date out there. Got to her house to pick her up, and she said, we'll take mine. And she had a Mustang just like mine. Mine was red, hers was white. We took hers. That was the end of the date. Back to net, KY4NB. Happy Thursday, all.
Well, Elvis has a convertible that is at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. I cannot remember the make or the model of it, but I have seen it. This was a while back when I took a tour of it, but it's there. Anyways, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Let's move on to WB1DXN Darrell out of Concord, New Hampshire. Good morning.
Good morning, Vicki and Bill and the rest of the brew crew. Yes, I have in a convertible. I had a MGB back in late 60s, early 70s, and sometimes, actually each January thaw, then I would take the top down and take the top off and go around in that. And one time with the wife visiting California, we rented a convertible car. Everybody be safe. Have a great day. WB1DXN.
All right, Darrell. Thanks for checking in. 73T, and have a great day. Let's move on to the bottom of the list. KF8DGQ. DJQ. Good morning, Kevin. Bowling Green, Ohio.
Good morning, Bill, Vicki, everybody on the net this morning. Yes, my first car was, oddly, MGB Roadster, a 67 MGB Roadster, and yes, very nice, and we do have a Mustang convertible sitting in the garage that my wife drives to church on Sundays. KF8DJQ, back to that.
All right. Thank you for checking in. We got you down for a yes in the log. I got time for one or two more check-ins. If we can have some Echo Link or digital check-ins, please check in now twice and slowly.
Echo 7, Mike Romeo, Alpha Echo 7, Mike Romeo, Terry, Junction City, Oregon.
Two F1, number 2, Fox Yankee America.
W2KJV, W2KJV, in and out. Good morning.
This is November Juliet 1 Sierra, NJ1 Sierra Mobile. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to Don as well, FYA. From NJ1S, in and out mobile, please. 7-3 to all.
All right, let's acknowledge these check-ins, and then we can call it a day. Terry, Harrisburg, Oregon, AE7MR. What say you?
Yeah, I have had two of
switch the one wingback hardtop, the trunk would open up and would go down into the trunk. I never had an engine before I moved to Canada. The one I bought when I first got back from the military was a 69 Datsun Roadster. I took a triple S-corner at 75 that should have been only 15 miles an hour, so I knew it paid the bill. It was the first day I owned it.
All right, we got you in there for a yes. Your signal is a little scratchy and a little bit tough to hear, but we got you in there. And have a great day, Jerry. N2FYA. Good morning, John.
Good morning, everyone on the net, and I had to think hard, but I cannot recall ever driving in a convertible. So I guess my short answer is no, we never have. Hey, everyone, have a great weekend, and all of you dads out there, have a great Father's Day. Take care. This is N2FYA. Back to net.
All right, John, thank you, and you have a great weekend as well. A couple in and outs, W2KJV, in and out from Homosassa, Florida. That was Tony. And NJ1S, in and out, mobile, Eric from Shelburne, Vermont. That is the end of the Morning Brew for June 18th, 2026 at 9:02 a.m. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. Really appreciate it. Vicki on the log, BEAKY, and she's doing a great job as well. Just a reminder, there is no Morning Brew or Second Cup tomorrow because of the holiday, and everybody have a great weekend. We return to East Coast Reflector to regular programming.
Mike Romeo clearing the 450 repeater, Eugene, Oregon. 87 MR is out, clear and secure.
It's unusual for me to be up this early in the morning to go here anyway. But I've been to town and back already. Just want to say hello to everyone and good morning. This is KG4 WHO, Daniel in Mountain Falls, Virginia. And good morning.
Good morning, Daniel WB2, GLW, Whiskey, Bravo 2, Gulf, London Whiskey, Gulf, London Whiskey. Good morning again. How you doing?
Well, good morning, Mike. I hope you're doing well on your side. I'm doing well on this side. I dropped my daughter at summer camp. So, back here cleaning the house, and we got a pretty good thunderstorm moving into the area. How's things on Long Island?
Well, we have a thunderstorm moving in here too. We have some sort of storm. It's gray, cloudy. The wind's picking up. Trees are whipping around. So I think we're gonna get rained on here, and all that good stuff. A little bit humid. Maybe it'll cut the humidity down. I don't have to kick in the air conditioner. So. But hanging around, having a little bit of coffee. I heard you out there, and just could not leave you alone out there. So I wanted to jump in and say good morning. And summer camp, huh? Sounds good. They should have a summer camp for adults too. So just go out and romp around the woods or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to start her in preschool in the fall. And so the preschool was having these week camps. They're day camps, she doesn't stay there. And we figured it might be a good idea to soft start her into the whole thing. And so we thought this was a good idea to do that. Kind of gets her used to the routine of going and getting ready and all that jazz. So far she hadn't fought me too much, and that's good. This is day 2. We went Tuesday and we went today. They were supposed to go play in the water. Well, they could have done that easily except for the lightning. So at the last minute we all had to pivot a little bit, which to me seems like a great decision on their part, because it's pretty nasty out there. It's sunny-ish, for being a thunderstorm. Morning thunderstorms are always kind of strange. But the wind seems to be pretty strong now. I don't know if we were under any kind of wind anythings, but it definitely appears to be bending some tree branches out there. So it probably would suck a little kid up and put him somewhere else, I'd imagine.
Yeah, lightning and water don't mix too well. So yeah, it's when I was younger, I was a lifeguard at a pool and a beach here. So yeah, that was the criteria. Any sort of lightning, everybody out, away from awnings and water and all that good stuff. So anyway, well, it's good. Yeah, I think an adult-related summer camp. I think that might be an idea to look into. How's that?
Yeah, I can tell you, Mike, my mom would have loved that idea. I might have to toy around with that. Build some sort of retiree summer camp program for the kid at heart. Do it that way. But yeah, how's things other than that up there on your side? It looks like you guys will probably get the rain we're getting in a few hours. I'm not exactly sure how long it takes for a cloud to get from here to there, but I know it takes by car about 4.5 hours for us to get to the ocean, and you're a little north of that, so if a storm's whipping at 50 mile an hour, and that's about the driving speed, give or take, you all should probably see this by, lunchtime.
Yeah, I think within the next hour or so we might get rained on here. It looks pretty nasty out here. So I think we might not be on the same time zone as far as storms, unless it's one big storm that's covering the East Coast. But anyway, other than that, I'm working on some foxhole radios. I do an Elmer group on Sunday afternoons, and so we're going to we study theory and things like that, but then we build something. I think Ham should be building things, soldering, welding, and gluing, and all the things we used to do. So we're going to build some foxhole radios. So I'm just gathering some parts here, see what I'm missing. I'm going to get these razor blades in rusty condition and throw them in some water. I think they work better when they're oxidized a little bit. So back to you.
Yeah, Mike. WB2GLW, KG4WHO. When I was in the Marine Corps, actively, because you're never out, I guess, in a way, I lived in North Carolina, and I had built one of those foxhole radios. I thought it was appropriate at the time. I ended up taking the razor blade and hitting it with the blowtorch, bluing it, and it turned blue. It sure did. But your idea there of a foxhole radio has given me a idea for Ham Radio Club presentation. We're always looking for presentations, and I agree with you. And the build it, make it, have fun with it sense. It would certainly be a cheap cost to furnish the materials for the 30 people that might be there at the clubhouse at any given point. A pack of razor blades and a number 2 pack of pencils probably could make quite a few radios. That's how I did mine, in the cat whisker way with the safety pin. So that I might have to work on writing something up like that, and see if I don't present it to the club. That's a pretty good idea for a 15-minute presentation with a 15-minute you build it sitting there, you know, and thumbtacks, and we'll test it out. I'll have to find some speaker because they're not amplified, but I think we probably have an amplified speaker at the clubhouse. So, thank you, Mike, for that idea. I'll have to write that down so I don't forget and bring that forward, because I feel like people in the club would appreciate it.
I think the toilet paper tubes, collecting enough toilet paper tubes, or Bounty kitchen towel tubes. I was going to look for a real large kitchen towel tube and make an extra big coil. See if we could bring the foxhole radio into the 160 meter band, and see if we could pick up hams and not just broadcast. So big mother coil, and or maybe 2 mother coils, I don't know, or a big fat coil, or something to that extent. So looking for different coil forms, maybe some PVC tubing we could wrap some coils on. Yeah, I gotta score some enameled wire, and I think that's something missing, key component. And the other project that I think we're looking at is tape measure Yagis. Tape measure Yagis. Tape measures could be $1 at the, or $1.25 at the $1.25 store. And PVC tubing, you know, some grips to grip it, and we could make dual band tape measure Yagis.
Yeah, Mike, I like that idea too. Yep. We've been having pretty good meetings. My club is the Shenandoah Valley Amateur Radio Club in Winchester. I got a couple roles within the club now, building and grounds and FM committee. But anyway, in my lifetime in the club, which has been about 20 years or so, at least exposed to it, I don't ever recall them ever making anything at a club meeting. Usually some guy will get up there and just jack for 20 minutes to a half an hour about stuff we already know about, ad nauseum. And you catch a little nap, but you don't want to be rude, you know what I mean? So something like this where some fellas and some YLs can push some thumbtacks into a piece of pine wood and wrap a little bit of enamel wire around a what they call that farm stock clip. Most people could probably do that without tools, though simple pair of pliers would be enough. Yep, I think I'm going to do this. I think I want to look into getting a bag of those farm stock clips and some single audio headphone jacks. Probably could get a bag of each for a couple bucks a piece. So, and then, like you're saying, and then the follow-up program could be, well, we made it, it worked in the very minimum sense, now let's add a coil and see where it takes us. All right, now we want to get from here to there. What do we got to do to make that coil resonate? See what you're saying? And I'm on board. I think that's a great, simple, back to basics. Kiss it.
In my mind's eye, that we could take two pieces of cardboard, notch them out, and make an X type of coil form, and a little bit of hot melt glue. And we could make the biggest coil that we could make a 2 coil, a 6-inch coil with just some cardboard from the postal office, and put a notch in and notch them together. So I don't know. I see if that will work out as a coil form. But all right, I'm going to go back to coffee, and before this gets out of hand too far, we'll be making 80-meter radios. How about a 20-meter foxhole radio? How's that? We could maybe do that with the big coil. WB2 GLW.
Yeah, Mike, I love that idea. And when I made mine on an oatmeal tube, it kind of came in around the 40-meter band. So I was picking up shortwave stations on the 40-meter band with it. I don't know exactly how I got there. It was like 16 turns of number 14 on a oatmeal can. But anyway, I'll let you go for now. We've been on here for a little bit, and I don't want to necessarily tie it up too much longer because I know other folks enjoy the system. But 7:30 for now, Mike.
And always a pleasure talking to you over there on that side of the world. WB2GLW, 73 for now. KG4WHO, stay dry.
73, have a good day. Enjoy yourself. WB2GLW, stay dry yourself. Get out of the rain. WB2GLW, back to my coffee.
KG4WHO, N2ZWR.
Is it raining on the side?
No, not yet. It's windy. I'm heading out to the store, so I hope what you have isn't coming my way, number 2.
Somehow, I just knew that was going to come out during this conversation. And I have to say I'm in good company. So, you know, these positions are loose at best. But anyway, hope you're doing well, Dad. I heard you earlier on the Morning Brew, and I didn't get in time. I had to drop her off, going to the store. That sounds fun. Get a little mental break there. We got some wind up here. We poured down rain for about 3/4 of a minute, but now it seems to quit, but I can't tell exactly looking out at the leaves. So, yep, I just heard you in there, and then you called me, and I'm glad. I was wondering how long it would take. I'm surprised Dick and them haven't rattled my chain yet, but I know that they're busy doing their planning for their shindig up there. So, yep, what else is on tap for today, Dan? Good morning, and I really enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, I'm just joking around with you. As you know, I've been waiting a couple of days for this. Been waiting a few days for that joke. No, I'm having a lot of fun. I think we're all having a lot of fun on the program. So it's fun to see positions change. Overall, it's a lot of fun. No, I'm just doing my thing here. I'm heading out. Hopefully, I'm going to beat the weather. I know we're supposed to get it around 2 o'clock if the weather is right, which probably isn't. So I'm heading out to get some groceries and fill up the pantry, fun stuff like that. And I heard you out there, and I just thought I'd kid you along a little bit and say good morning.
Well, in true Morning Brew fashion, I'll continue the question that me and Mike were talking about. Dan, have you ever built a foxhole radio?
No, the closest thing I've ever come was as a kid. I built out of a kit. My mom was always buying gifts that would make us think, make us build things, which I truly appreciate. But no, I have not. But I've built many a crystal-type radio that she purchased for me for the holidays or for birthdays, and that's really, really what got me started in radio, even though back at that age I didn't know it yet.
as an adult, when I built mine, having not really even heard of them, growing up in, this end of the world, the first time I put the headphones on and heard the local AM station come through, I was tickled pink. And then at night, it really opened my eyes to the ether, And I always thought, which I'm sure there's probably something version of this that's been done and probably undone over the years, but crystal radios are powerful enough to light some new age LEDs we got. And LEDs have advanced so far in size and power requirements that it's totally plausible to get some sufficient light out of a crystal radio now. They've got those tiny little surface mount LEDs like what's in your cell phone that can just light up the whole room. I know that there's just a minuscule voltage coming across those kind of radios, but I'm sure that they have very low power LEDs too. So, just a thought. It was so fun to build that foxhole radio, and when that pencil and that razor blade made a noise in my ears, that's magic. Back to you.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like fun. I wouldn't mind trying something like that at some point in time. Sounds like a lot of investment and a little bit of fun. So, hey, I'm at my destination. I got to go. I'm at Wally's World, and I got to do a little bit of shopping. But I heard you out there, Daniel, and I just wanted to say hello. I haven't been on in a few days. It's been hectic. Been a lot of appointments and a lot of out of the house stuff for the past couple of days. So I heard you out there. I just wanted to take a few. I'm in the mobile. I just wanted to take a few minutes and say good morning. And I think it's great that your daughter is got an early start. I did the same thing, and believe it or not, to me, in my opinion, it pays off. But hey, I just wanted to shout out to you, say hello, and hope you have a great day. Get back to cleaning your house, my friend. This is N2ZWR. Daniel, 73 to you. I hope you have a great day.
Dan, you be safe down there. Try to, try to fight the battles you can fight and let go of the ones you can. And arrive home safe. I hope you will. And, always a pleasure, my friend. Yep, this is one of the treasures at the end of along the way is you guys. So, picking up treasures along the way. Scattered along the trail, for sure. 7-3, my friend. Have a beautiful morning. Thanks for calling me. It makes me feel good inside. And I hope talking to me makes you feel good inside. 7-3 for now. KG4 WHO. Bye-bye. I'll be listening.
Kilo Echo 4, India Fox.